Hello there, physics pals. Paul Lake here with another physics problem solved. I hope you're doing well. And we're going to be doing a force problem, kind of an introductory type force problem. We're going to find the net force on a puck given its mass and its change in velocity with time. And of course, we're going to be using Newton's second law, and we're going to be dealing with vector mathematics. Hopefully you're familiar with that. Let's read the problem. A toy rocket engine is securely fastened to a large puck, which can glide with negligible friction, that means there's no friction, over a horizontal surface taken as the XY plane. The 4-kilogram puck has a velocity of 3 meters per second in the x direction. That's what that I hat means. At one instant. 8 seconds later, its velocity is to be 8 meters per second in the x direction and 10 meters per second in the y direction. Assuming the rocket engine exerts a constant horizontal force and the rocket exhaust has negligible mass, find the magnitude and direction of the force exerted by the rocket. Okay, let's set this up. Given here we have, let's draw the puck. And we're looking down on it now. Like I don't know, maybe for curling or something. All right. And let's see, we've got, well, we know what its initial velocity is. Its initial velocity is 3.00. I like to go meters per second in the x direction. Its final velocity is 8 meters per second in the I direction, plus 10 meters per second in the y direction. And we're going to assume 3 significant figures here, so I'm going to say that the time it takes for this change in velocity to take place is equal to 8.00 seconds. Okay, and what are we trying to find? Oh, we know the mass. What was the mass again? 4 kilograms. Okay, so now, so what are we trying to find? We're trying to find the magnitude and direction of the force applied by the rocket. So we've got some kind of toy rocket on here. Okay, here's a little nozzle, and it's gonna fire with constant force. And we're gonna say the mass, that said that consider the mass of the exhaust to be negligible. There's no friction, so that we've got a force that's gonna push it and change its speed from this velocity to this velocity. And we want to know, what is that force? Right there. All right. Now let's solve it. Okay. Well, we want to know that this is essentially the net force, right? We have a couple forces at play here. We've got the gravity pulling it straight down towards the center of the earth, but we've got the ice or whatever the surface is that's supporting that weight. They cancel each other out. There's no friction in this problem. So the only force that's causing any acceleration at all is this rocket force. And so that is the net force. And the net force we know is equal to mass times acceleration. Okay, so now we need to break that down, because notice what we know. We know the final and initial velocities, and we know the time. Well, we can relate that to acceleration, right? Because mass is equal to a change in velocity. Well, mass, time, and acceleration is a change in velocity over a change in time. Okay, so this is going to be the mass times, now what was that change in velocity? Oh, well, that's the final velocity minus the initial velocity divided by time. Now, one thing, force is a vector, acceleration is a vector, mass is a scalar. It just scales or changes the magnitude of this vector, and also changes it from meters per second squared to newtons. And also time is also a scalar. So the direction of this net force we get from the direction that we get from the change in velocity vector. All right, so now we can plug our values. Well, I guess we can. Yeah. We can do this. We can plug our values in right now. Do this all in one line. Actually, let me start it down here so it's a little neater. So the mass, what is the mass? Well, the mass is 4 kilograms. And then the change in time, I'll just put it over here, it's 8 seconds. Times this final velocity. What was the final velocity? Oh, that's 8 meters per second in the x direction plus 10 meters per second in the y direction. This is my final velocity. Let me do like this, put brackets like that. This is our final velocity minus our initial velocity, which is 3.00 meters per second in the x direction, and in the y direction it doesn't have a component. Okay, so let's do this. We have a net force. Well, let's simplify this a little bit. I'll keep the 4 kilograms and the 8. Sorry, I can make that 1/2 if you want. But what is this now? Well, this is 8 in the x direction minus 3 in the x direction. You can't add or subtract components of vectors that are not in the same direction. And so we can only combine things that are in the x direction here, or in the y direction, but in the x direction here, I have 8 meters per second minus 3, so that's going to be 5 meters per second in the x direction, and then we're going to add 10. That doesn't change, right? That's meters per second in the y direction. So this is our change in velocity, isn't it? Okay, so change in velocity divided by change in time times the mass, that gives me the force. So I guess what we can do right now is we can say, all right, well, this is 2. So all we have to do is divide this by 2. And so I get 2.50. Now we've got to include these units, right? It's kilogram meters per second squared, right? Because I'm dividing by seconds and I'm dividing by seconds, so that's seconds squared there. Okay, and this is in the x direction. And in the y direction, we're just going to take 10 divided by 2 is 5. And it's going to have the same units, kilogram meters divided by seconds squared. And that's in the y direction. Now, a kilogram meter per second squared is, of course, that's a Newton. That's our metric system measure of force is in newtons. So we can write that out now as 2.50 newtons in the x direction and 5 newtons in the y direction. Now, I could try to express this to the answer, but unfortunately, if we read the question carefully, it wants the magnitude and direction of this force. So to get the magnitude, it's just kind of tedious. It's not hard. It's just the x component squared. Remember, this makes a right triangle, right? This net force goes 2.5 newtons in the x direction, and then it goes twice as far in the y direction. So these are the components. I should draw them as dashed lines here. So this is 2.5 newtons in the x direction, and this is 5 newtons in the y direction. And so when I add these two, I get my resultant vector, or my overall net force. And this, of course, is the hypotenuse of this right triangle formed by these components. Whenever you have an x component and a y component, it's going to make a right triangle. And so we can say, well, that's 2.50 newtons squared plus 5 newtons in the y direction squared. And when we do this, let's do it. So we have 2.5 squared, there's my square button, plus 5 squared equals. Now, don't forget to take the square root of the answer. And here's how I do that. I raise it to the power of 0.5. And that saves me a keystroke on my calculator. And I get 5.59 newtons. Okay, so that's the magnitude. Now, let's find the direction, and that's just from here. We're going to have the tangent, the inverse tangent of the y component, which is 5, divided by the x component. Now, if the x component was negative, that means this vector would be in the second or third quadrant. Your calculator is not smart enough to give you an angle in the second or third quadrant using inverse tangent. So you would have to add 180 degrees to your answer if the x component was negative. But it's not negative in this problem. It's positive, so we don't need to worry about that. But I just thought I'd mention it. All right, so second function tangents, and there I get my inverse tangent. And then I have 5, well, divided by 2.5. I could have just put in 2, and I'll get my answer of 63.4 degrees. All right, there we go. Let's make this nice. Okay, this has a magnitude of 5.59 newtons of force, and that force must be pointed at 63.4 degrees to get the change in velocity that we are given. And there we go. And there's our answer. And there we go. Another physics problem solved. Hey, if you have a question, put it in the comments. I answer all questions that are sent to me. I've got a small channel. But do put a timestamp on where in the video you have a question. Or if you think I did something wrong or something like that, made a mistake, which has happened before. Yeah, put it in the comments. If you just want to say hi, put that in the comments or thank you. And by the way, I have viewers from all over the world. In fact, I'm an American. I live in Fresno, California. And what's kind of interesting to me is that like about 3 out of 4 viewers are not from the United States. A lot of you are from the Philippines or from India. Or I've got a couple of students who watch my videos that live in Cameroon. That's so cool. So let me know. Let me know where you're from. I love hearing from you guys. Also, please like, share, and subscribe. And share it with your fellow students. And also share it with your teacher. If you look in the description, there's a link that takes you to a whole bunch of Google Docs where all these problems are all organized, and there's lectures and stuff like that, and it's in worksheet form. So, your teachers could use that. So share it with your teacher. And it's pretty fun. By the way, I'm also a physics private tutor. So look in the description for a link and how to get in touch with me if you might benefit from my tutoring services. I'm really good. I'm a friendly guy. I can get you through this with a whole lot less stress, and I can save you so much time and maybe make physics fun for you, because I think physics is pretty cool. So thanks for watching. And also, thank you for studying physics. I mean it. Thank you for being a physics student, because let me tell you something. If there weren't hardworking, smart students like you taking the time to learn this stuff, our technologically based civilization would crumble. I mean, it's all because it's all based on a foundation of physics. And but also, the universe we live in is really cool. So just understanding how the universe, works, it's good. It's a good thing to do. So thanks again. And until the next video, may the net force be with you always. That is all.